Hello, folks. So, Sunday, today's nap was a winner. I know I'm a bit of a party pooper for Leighton Aspel. I apologise, Leighton. Obviously, the nap that I gave today, beat his final ever ride into second place. But I hope you all got on. I hope you made a bit of money with that selection this afternoon. The play spot was a bit poor, but the nap romped home, so fingers crossed for you all there. Obviously, looking ahead to tomorrow's racing, which is Monday, the 24th of February. And there's a quintet of horses that I like the look of. Two for each way purposes that I think are currently 33 to 1 each. Obviously much bigger prices. And two at shorter odds. So without further ado, let's absolutely get into it. Obviously, if you don't want to listen to my voice and listen to the whole video, my selections are going to be scrolling through around there. First off, the 410 at Southwell. Aunt Helen is the nap of the day. Hails from the Mark Loughnan trained yard. 4-year-old. The trainer actually has I think it's 10 top 3 finishes from 25 horses racing at the yard. Racing at Wolverhampton this year alone. Obviously in 2020. So clearly knows how to grab a winner and send a decent horse out round here to like the Midland course. Lightly raced runner who is still a 5-race maiden, but showed a lot more when finishing third last time out at Wolverhampton. She didn't get the clearest of runs, the clearest of passages through. Was a tad unlucky actually, but absolutely flew home at the end. The way she ended up finishing a race makes me feel that I'm a lot more positive about stepping her up in trip, which she is here. Also, you've got Andrea Arzeni booked for the ride, which is a massive plus as well. And it just looks to have a really good chance in what's a relatively poor race. Later on, the other selections come at Wolverhampton, the first of which is in the 6:30. Look Surprised is currently the outsider of the 8-runner field. But I think it's worth noting that Jason Watson was the jockey on board the horse when it produced probably the most encouraging run. Pardon me, sorry, still full of gems. Which was over tonight's course and distance. 7-year-old is given a decent draw, obviously coming out of stall 2. And the trainer Roger Teal's yard has, I think it's sent out 2 winners from just 7 runners over the last 2 weeks as well. So again, yards in form, decent draw. Obviously the race looks really competitive, and but I still think it'd be worth siding with. Like I said, at around 33 to 1, I think that's probably a bit overpriced. So for each way punters, definitely has enough to sort of grab a place. And in the 8 o'clock, it's the final race of the day and on the card at Wolverhampton. There's 2 I actually like in this race. First off, Iconic Code's record on the all-weather, if to be honest, hasn't been the most impressive, to put it politely. Having only ever raced on the artificial surface 3 times, and the horse has never actually finished in the top half or the first half of any of those fields. That being said, based on the horse's turf form, in which 2 of his 3 victories have come over 1 mile 2 furlongs, which is the trip he's getting tomorrow night. It's also worth noting as well that Callum Rodriguez travels to Wolves just for this one ride. He has no other rides on the day, so hopefully that's a positive sign. So, popping up to Wolverhampton just for that one mount. Fitness won't be an issue either, because he's had a couple of spins over hurdles, which were relatively recently as well. And as with Look Surprised, who I mentioned earlier, 33 to 1 just looks too big a price. I'm not normally one for tipping 2 horses in the same race, unless it's, say, a massive top-class handicap, like a big sprint handicap or the National or something like that. But I feel Fox Shinji should go really close, especially obviously with SDS, Sylvester de Souza booked for the ride. Trainer Andrew Baldwin has his horses going really well. I think he's operating at something like a 33% strike rate at the moment. Step up in trip, being drawn in stall 1, and obviously having the champion jockey booked for the ride are all massive positive ticks in the right boxes. The horse has actually been smashed. It opened up at 12-1. I was hoping to get the video out when it was that price, but it's now down as short as 7-2 best price. So somebody knows something. I'd be tempted to even do the Nap, Aunt Helen, obviously the runs earlier at Southwell, in a double with the Balding horse, and then play the other two each way. But whatever you do, whatever you choose to go for, good luck if you follow. Hopefully the run continues. Thanks once again for your support, likes, shares, all that sort of jazz. And fingers crossed.